is Dr. Moratwe Masima, and welcome to Profmed's Breast Cancer Awareness High Tea. Today we're going to sit, sip, and share stories about breast cancer, and I'm joined by amazing and empowering guests that are going to be sharing their survival stories. We're also going to go on to the topic of prevention, treatment, and some of the support structures in place for breast cancer.
Hi, I'm Justine Lacy and I'm the Clinical Executive at Profmed. I'm here today to talk about the structures within Profmed that support our breast cancer members.
Hi, I'm Tshepi Moropa and I'm a breast cancer survivor and athlete brand manager, and today I'm going to talk about my journey as a breast cancer survivor and navigating life after breast cancer.
Hi, my name is Suraiya Nawab. I'm a specialist wellness practitioner by profession. I'm also a director of an NGO. I'm here today as a breast cancer survivor to talk about my journey and to share and learn with everybody else here. Thank you.
Be on it for up to 2 years, so that's costing in the region of 1.5 to 2 million rand for a treatment regimen.
Yes.
We know that that's not quite where we want to be or where the member wants to be at the end of the day, because then we know that by the time they get onto that type of treatment, that their cancer may be quite far advanced already.
So it's quite cheaper.
It's expensive,
It's
but
cheaper from every perspective.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, an early diagnosis, early detection results in early diagnosis, and then treatment that is very possibly short-lived, cost-effective, and does not impact on the lives of the person who's affected by cancer and those that they love.
Okay, thank you. And then for Dr. M,
Yes.
is cancer, breast cancer and breast cancer in general, genetic?
Yes. Oh, I thought you were recording. Yes, definitely. There is a huge link between family predisposition and somebody developing breast cancer, especially the more, I would say, virulent or aggressive types of breast cancer. For example, in the case of my aunt, she got it at a very young age of 36 years old. And so for patients like that, we would have to look at the family history, potentially do DNA testing to see if they actually have a genetic predisposition to getting breast cancer. So her children or daughters would have to be screened much more earlier than the general public or someone else that doesn't have any family history for breast cancer. So it's exceptionally important for people to actually start having these conversations at home. I think that it's sometimes very scary. I think in certain cultures, we don't like to talk about health problems. And I think in a lot of aspects, I know that coming from my perspective, I come from a family that is from the rural areas of Matakele in the Eastern Cape. They didn't even know the knowledge of what cancer actually is or what it looked like, what the treatment was. And a lot of people probably did pass away from it, but didn't know what it was way back then. So it's a very important discussion to have as families, because then you can actually save lives.
Okay, thank you. And then for my cancer survivors, so cancer is quite emotionally taxing, right? So I'd like you to specifically speak about both your experiences and both your families. How is it emotionally taxing for you? You, as you said, you're a single mother for your child and your family, and you, Suraiya, for your children and your husband. How is it emotionally taxing from their perspective, besides your perspective as a breast cancer patient?
So for me, it was quite, not just emotionally, but I think also mentally taxing for my daughter, because she had no business going through that at the age of 6-7,
Wow.
because she then turned herself to show up for me, and which was very unfair, which I felt was very unfair for her, to be up at night when I leave the bathroom, to be up at night when I'm nauseous, to be up at night when she's got school the next day, So for her, I really think that was a big shift.
Mm.
It was a very big shift. It felt really unfair. It felt really, like you could see there were times where she's just like, when is this actually going to end? You know, sometimes you really, like you end up being in a position for myself as a mom, and I speak for myself to say, I'm just like, perhaps I might not go to chemo next week, because what happens after that on day 3 is taxing for my daughter. You see, so it's not fair. But then again, I want to stay alive for her, you see. So it really is, I mean, I really do remember contemplating the one day that I don't think I'm going to go to chemo, because she's got tests coming up. She takes them really seriously. So the timeline is not suitable. It's not suitable for her. So is there a way that I can get away from this? So it's emotionally taxing on the people that support you. It's emotionally taxing on somebody, because it's always been me and my daughter for life, you know. So it's emotionally taxing for somebody who's 6.
Yes.
Who's 6? I mean,
She's
she's
just a
6. She has no business Googling, oh, mommy, I saw that on Google that if we try this, you know, maybe use an ice pack, and you know what I'm saying? So it really is emotionally taxing on the people that support you. There are friends that really showed up for me, but you could tell that they too have no idea what to say, what to do, you know, but they didn't know that just them being there and helping with my daughter, picking her up from school, you know, just taking her for school holidays. That was great enough for me. They didn't know that. They were just like, we wish we could do more. But you could see it in their faces. You could see it in their efforts that they really wish they could do more. You could see with the talent that I manage. I mean, some of them were Springbok players. They would just be like, just bring her over. Just we'll see. You know, just can we pick her up? You know, you can see they almost want to take the pain away from you. They almost want to do the treatment on your behalf. You know, so you can really see it in the caregivers, as Suraiya calls them, that they really, it is emotionally taxing on them. It is mentally taxing on them. You can see there are times where they are away from you, they're thinking about you. They're thinking of what are you going to go through next. I mean, there are times where my daughter would ask, so what's next? Every time. She would be like, okay, so we've been through that. What's next? You know, and for me, I'd always say, no, don't worry. Like you have no business worrying about what's next, you know. So it's emotionally taxing, especially on a child. You know, for her, she was just like, oh my god, like how can you be the one person that I've got, and then you know, for her it's that. And I really do believe if things were different, and if I could skip a treatment or what, I would have. I definitely would have, because it really was not worth it for me to see her in that shape. It was not worth it for me for her to be up at 11, 12 when she needs to be up at 6 for school, you see. So all of that was a really difficult time. And I still think till today there are parts of that journey that she's carried with her, that she still carries with her till now. So I think it's got a long-term effect, especially on a child. I don't think, just like what Suraiya said, as a cancer, you'll never be the same person. I don't think she'll ever be the same person again.
It changes you.
It does. So I think also for her, I doubt. Like people meet her and they go, oh my goodness, your child. and I believe she'll never be the same person again. You cannot reverse that kind of stuff. She grew up, she grew up quickly. She had to figure things out, which that's not how I had it planned. You know, I thought I'm going to be able to afford her a certain kind of life. We're going to be able to live a certain kind of way. Then we had to change all that pattern. I had to cancel bedtime being at 8. When I'm the one that enforced that rule. I said bedtime is going to be at 8, but now she's up. It's 9, it's 10, it's 11, now it's 12, it's the next day. And then she insists, no, I'm going to go to school today. You know, and she's tired. Immediately when she's been picked up from school, somebody will pick her up, a friend of mine, and say she slept all the way from school to home. But she's tired. Of course she's tired. You know, she slept at 12, probably didn't sleep immediately, you know, when she got in bed. So those are the kind of impacts that that really do drive that whole mental awareness and all of that, you can definitely see the long-term effect on your caregivers. It's different.
Okay, for me, I spoke a little bit about my family. My kids were adults. They were both married. It was a role reversal, whereas previously I used to be the main nurturer of everybody in the home, and from the first day this happened, I think they just took everything over. The running of the home, the visitors, the cooking, my treatment, and I have vivid memories of my husband and my kids used to take turns for my chemotherapy or radiation. So for everyone, they used to just turn the roster around. And I have very vivid memories of sitting, and by the second or third or fourth chemo, you used to that very cold needle, and the medication that just starts going through every vein in your body. And I know my husband used to cringe, and in that silent way, I knew he was there. My daughter's a medical doctor, so she used to be very present, right there, check whatever drips there are, whatever needs to go second and third and fourth and all of that. My son used to look at me from the corner of his eye and be on his laptop as if, he's not, but he was sitting there right with me. And so over the 2 years of my active treatment, they were there all the time, but they gave a lot emotionally as well as their time. Eventually, after my second month of chemo, I said to them, I want you guys to just go back to your normal lives, please. You don't have to be here. Your dad is here. We'll manage through. The day I can't manage, then we'll call you. Luckily, we were living very close to each other. So I think that just being there is so important. But emotionally, yes, it does drain them. Yes, it does drain them. Answering the phone all the time with well wishes and calls to say, how's your mom doing, and all that. And they all had their own jobs. So they shuffled their time around to just be there for me. And I'm grateful again that I had the privilege of just concentrating on me and my illness and my recovery. And I'll forever be thankful to them, because I think just how it changed me in so many ways, it changed them. It changed their outlook on life. It changed so much for them. My one granddaughter, I now have 4, she was just 2 years old. And in that book I have her name because she was the light of my life. I was like really down and out with chemotherapy. I couldn't even get up. But the minute I hear her coming in, I used to lift myself up, And so she has a copy, all of them have a copy of that. And the first time when she read it, she asked me, so what was it like, and where was I, and how was I? So it has an impact on them for many years to come, And it's not like as a patient you want self-pity or you want others to pity you. You want to be, if you have been independent, you want that independence, okay? But for them, looking at it from their perspective, they wanted to be there for me. And it's just, I know that it's affected them all in many ways, So, but I also know that there were, as I said earlier, there were life lessons. I used to feel guilty that they're leaving their work, or they're coming back home from work early, or my daughter's with her patients, my son has his job, and my daughter-in-law and all of that. Son-in-law has a full-time business and things like that. My husband used to come. But then I realized it's also their journey. When they write their life story, it'll be at some point in their lives, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. So it's a whole chapter in your life, and it includes your caregivers and the ones you love. And I'm ever grateful for them, for being there. So thanks a lot. Thanks for actually highlighting that.
Yeah.
Doctor, I know that I work extremely long hours. I'm stressed a lot of the times, and just yesterday I had a lot of emergencies before I met on the call, and I just have learned to ground myself, compose myself, and remember that I chose this profession for a reason, and that I'm making a difference in someone else's life. So when I speak to a patient and I'm worried about something, they might not want me to go into it, especially actually interestingly, male patients never want to hear anything about screening for anything. They don't care. But I make it a point that I'm doing this for you, and I'm trying to help you, because maybe not right now, but 5 years from now, you might come back and thank me that I found this thing that could have, gone undetected. So I just speak for myself when I say I try my best. It's very difficult, but I'm a thorough doctor. Let me just put it that way. Yes. So I enjoy my job, and I think that also makes a big difference.
You've got to have passion.
Yes, if I just rushed through consultations, no matter how overwhelmed I felt, I think that a lot of people don't actually see the difference.
The tattoos for the radiation are still there. And for some people it would be like, I need to go and get it out, For me, it's a constant reminder of being grateful, never losing hope, the mercy of the Creator. And just celebrate, validate yourself, celebrate your own journey. It just boosts your self-confidence to such a level. That you survive. And you praise God, and you can't be more blessed than you already are. So I think there are so many life lessons to learn through it. And speaking about gender-based violence, I've also had clients who have had a terrible journey through the cancer diagnosis and that. And we spoke about so many things about how it affects your marriage and your inner being. Is that not all spouses or partners can accept that. It just gets too much for them. And they just can't handle it, right? And you must know, active treatment was chemotherapy, your surgery, radiation, and then I had 10 years of tamoxifen, which was the oral chemo. So some people, especially during emotionally they can't, sometimes financially they can't manage, and they feel that they're really not doing what they have to for their spouses or partners, and it brings up a lot of dysfunctional marriages and partnerships, a lot. So it's a whole journey on its own. Very is. So I'm blessed that I was the one that didn't have any of that. The other thing was I had adult kids.
Yes.
And I used to feel like now they have to be around me and do things for me and all of that. But at some point I thought to myself, I'm guessing your kids were young now.
That is younger,
Yeah.
She's 10 now.
Yeah. So at some point again, that introspection that you do all the time, and I thought to myself, that's their journey. They were grown up, I was there for them, nurtured them, got them through university, got them married. And part of their life journey would be that my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yes.
It's not like they are on their own journeys as well.
Yes.
It's not just all about you. And then I just accepted whatever they gracefully just accepted it. Trying very hard to make me comfortable. Yeah. So I think gratefulness and hopefulness is a big lesson.
Yes, I agree.
I've indicated already, we advocate for educate, and screen.
Yes.
Because we want people to take responsibility for their own health and to be healthy at the end of the day.
Yes.
Thank you.
Extend yourself grace. Allow people to be there for you, which was a big lesson for me. I was not good at that. So allow people to be there for you. I have a great rugby community, and when those people showed up for me, I was like, you guys. So allow people to be there for you. And if you know somebody that is going through the journey, you don't have to know it all. You don't have to go through. You don't have to know what chemotherapy is, or the different types, and the different types of cancer, you don't. You literally just have to be there for that person.
Mhm.
And that on its own should be enough. And you can get through what you go through.
Mhm.
Yeah.